welcome back. Hades here, and today we're going to continue on with our simplified anatomy, and this time, as you can see, we're going to go through the legs. So the arms and the legs, they're both really, there's a lot going on there. It's really important to simplify, otherwise it just gets so overwhelming. And all the muscles that I have here, that you can see named here, all of these, right? I can't remember all these names. So I wrote them before recording the video, just so I can refer to it. I get by drawing legs just fine without knowing most of these muscles. What matters more to me is the shape, right? What shape indicates the muscle. For me, that's more important. But at least for this video, I will try and, when drawing the legs, I will try and go over these muscles so you can see where they are. However, at first glance, it seems like finding these is a bit difficult. Unlike the torso, in the torso video, you saw me like make use Will Weston's like 2 boxes, and then half of the the top half of the box is like where the the chest ends, and halfway down the arm is like the deltoid and blah blah blah. For this one, it's not, I don't really have those kind of measurements. However, just like with the torso, if you can remember just a few attachment points, it's going to help you find everything else. So we've got this diagram right here, yeah. I pretty much never draw this muscle. This. Yeah, I don't draw this 3, but however, they are important, right? This yellow and green muscle, right? What are they called? The sartorius and the gracilis. Okay, because I know the sartorius attaches up here, right? And if you studied the torsos already, you'll know like where the obliques end, right? And then you have like the hips, like, well, right here, right? After that, you've got this is where all the leg muscles start attaching, right? Underneath the obliques, where that line, it's like a dividing line between the top half of the body and the lower half, right? So if you study the pelvis just a little bit, right, you don't have to do too much. In fact, let me bring something up. Or if you see my video on the torso, you remember I was showing this this hip box, and that's basically what it is, right? So the top of the hip box is like a dividing line for the legs. The sartorius, starts here and makes its way over and into the knee. Okay, so sartorius starts here, ends at the knee. Okay, important. The gracilis, right, the one in green, this one starts at the pubic bone, right, and also makes its way to the knee. Once you draw those two muscles in, now I've created this triangle, right, and that's going to help me figure out where everything else is, because I know above this triangle I have the rectus femoris right here, and also the vastus medialis is right here. And I know underneath that triangle, I've got the bicep femoris, right? And then behind the bicep femoris is the glutes, Gluteus Maximus, right? So just establishing where these the sartorius and gracilis is, right? This and this, I can find everything else, at least from this view. Right, and also you can see the tensor fasciae latae peeking out of here. But yeah, so when I'm drawing anatomy, that's all I really think about is the sartorius, the gracilis, and then from there everything else I can find. Okay, so remember, this is where the hips are, top of the hips. to the knee, pubic bone to the knee, and then you've created your triangle. Now you know what goes above and what goes below. Okay? Because, you know, there's no reason for me to draw, well, this muscle right here. It's just it doesn't really contribute to the shape, right? At least for the way I draw, I focus on, you know, what is the outside shape, and this is an inside shape. But I mean, if you're studying it, you should at least learn it as you're doing this, and then, you know, later you just default to this. And just to show you, as you can see here, I've got, well, Western drawings, right? We've got exactly that same shape, right? The muscle starts at the hips, and then it just makes its way down to the knee, and that's pretty much it. It's like just two shapes on the leg there, on the upper leg, right? That's basically what I have. Right, there's nothing else, and that's all you need, right? If you want to add in more, it's way easier once you have all this in place. Once you have this triangle in place. Okay. Okay, let's look at another view. So from the outside view, I'm not going to talk too much about the bones, however, this circle right here, right, what is that? Let's just find out. If you look at the hip box, right, you see where the, what is it called? I remember. The bone that, you know, attaches to your, you know, the pelvis. That's what that represents pretty much. Right, and you'll see that on people, right? They have, like on the side, they'll have like this dip, and that's what that is. Well, if you draw from reference a lot, you'll see it. Right, it's like you'll see the muscle will like go in and then out. Right, that's what that is. Right, because that's where the bone is, the greater trochanter. Yeah, that's the name. Okay. So I mean, this isn't you know, too accurate, but you know, it's good enough for what we have here. Okay, so on this side we have this huge muscle known as the vastus lateralis. Okay, so if you just think of the leg as like a sort of box, right, it just takes up most of the space on the outside of the box. Okay, and then we have in green here the Gluteus Maximus, right? That's the largest of, you know, these three, right? And then next we have Gluteus Medius, right? That's this one in purple, and then tensor fasciae latae in blue. Okay, so if you want to find these, you know, you just think of the hip box right on the side, and then if you were, well, based on that diagram, the drawing that Will Weston gave us, right, you can see the cross, right? If you've done Drawbox, you're very familiar with that. That kind of sits kind of low on the side of the box, right? So it's not really in the middle, it's like back here somewhere. But to be honest, I never draw this box. I just draw the torso and then kind of fill it in afterwards. So I think if you watch me do it, you'll understand what I mean. You can see it here as well, right? It's like not in the middle, just kind of back a bit, and like in the lower left almost. Okay, so the Gluteus Medius, right, this one in purple, for me it doesn't really contribute much to my drawing at all. The tensor fasciae latae, right, that's a good one to know, because you know, when you're looking at the figure from like this angle, right, you do see it peeking out, and it is useful to know that, otherwise it'll just kind of feel empty. From this angle I can't really see it. Well, I've indicated it just slightly. Well, I guess I should mention all of these are, I didn't use reference for any of these, so if anything looks weird, that'll be why. Okay, so what else do we have? So we also have the bicep femoris, right? That takes up pretty much just the entire backside of the leg, right? It's actually two muscles, right? Because it's bi, right? Like the bicep. of the arm. So let's look at it over here, right? It takes up all this space. Okay. And of course, here I am, I'm simplifying stuff, right? So if you want a much more accurate depiction of, what the anatomy looks like, definitely grab a book or something, or just Google. Okay, and also you can see the rectus femoris from this side, right? That's the muscle that makes up this, this nice shape that you see. Okay, and remember, you want to try and design. Well, you learn it first and then design it. Well, you could learn design first, I don't know. Yeah, so that's our side view. Well, I guess I should mention the calves as well. What should I mention here, right? The low leg is just calf. That's it. All right, and why am I doing that? There's a lot of muscles going on, but I don't know. There's at least, when I was learning it, I learned maybe five muscles. Yeah, as you might guess, I've never had to think about those muscles, so it's just gone, and I don't really care to learn it again because it just doesn't matter. Right, so as far as the calf goes, right, if you looked at my drawing figures with cylinders and boxes, right, this is how I would draw the lower leg, right? So it's just a tapering cylinder. Okay, but now you're learning anatomy, right? We're gonna take that and just change its shape, right? So the outside shape is essentially, basically straight here. It's not entirely straight. I kind of curve it because I do know there is muscles that kind of stick out of it. If I'm thinking about rhythm, sometimes I don't want to make it straight. But you just draw from reference and study the work of, T.B. Choi and Grens, and you just pick up their anatomical shapes, right? And that should improve your drawings. But anyways, essentially we have a straight here, and then we have that over there, right? So from tapering to this shape. And so the reason you don't really have to worry about all the leg muscles is because, there's, you just need to learn this shape really, right? The calf doesn't change much. So from the front, right, you see the calf sticking out over here. And then I think this, if I can remember correctly, all of this stuff here is other muscles, but just keep in mind of the shape, right? So on the outside, the apex is higher than the apex on the inside, and the ankle is higher on the inside and lower on the outside. So you might have seen this on like Pinterest or whatever, but you have that, and that's useful for helping you remember, which side is higher. But you can break the rules if you want, but you should just learn what it should be first, and then change it afterwards. Sometimes you might see me not do this. I'll keep this, but I might not do this. Okay, so yes, the calf. Just the shape. Learn how to draw this shape, and then that's your lower leg, right? And so remember, just think of the cylinder. Oh no, the bottom, right? That's like, this is the ankle, right? So this will be the front. With the foot, that'll be back. But you'll see me draw the foot. But yeah, I will probably, I'll make a separate video for feet. Not that I'm particularly good, but I think it'd be good to just do a whole video. And I'll learn, you'll learn. But in most cases, I just simple shape. Or a shoe shape, right? I just keep that in mind, and that helps me draw feet. The anatomy that I use is very heavily based on shape. Okay, yeah, so I just try and think of, okay, if I was drawing a shoe, what kind of shape would that be? And then that's just what I got off. But yeah, I do want to learn a bit more on that. Okay, so oh yeah, okay. Well, the one thing to mention is that well, it's not really important, but the Gluteus Maximus, right, in green, that actually goes under the what's it called? The vastus maceratus. This one, right? It goes under. Not really important, and it goes over the biceps, the bicep femoris, right? So under this, over this muscle right here. But yeah, it doesn't really matter too much, unless you're actually drawing out the anatomy. So from the back view, not much to say, I guess. So you can see me extend the calves like all the way down here, right? Like what is all of this? Right, so the name for this muscle is actually called, is this right? Gastrocnemius. I don't know. Bit weird that they have that there. But yeah, so it's all this shape. And then here is like, this part is like tendon, but I like to draw it because it looks cool. Right, and notice this this circular dividing line that I create. Right, so this is the same one here. It's like, so here's the bulk of the calf, right? And then where that bulk kind of ends, I just cut it off, right? Or I divide it. And then the rest of the leg just becomes straight, pretty much. Although there is some very subtle curving going on this side. Right, so you can see we do it here. Right, so I got the bulk of the calf, and then I break it off there, and then from there it's just straights. Okay, you know, I just think it's pretty cool doing it like that. You could have it continue in one line or something. But yeah, that's just what I do. So call this halfway of the lower leg. Well, the main goal is to make sure you know where this triangle is for the inside leg. The outside is not too bad, right? Because this takes up most of the outside, right? And you want to know where this is, right? Once you know that, you can find these three. But yeah, definitely look at you know, actual anatomy diagrams, and then you can compare it with what I'm doing here and how I simplify. So yeah, in the front of the leg, okay, you got all these muscles. Again, I don't draw this. It's always this for me. So yeah, don't forget on the front view, where it's clearly seen, is this, right? This is actually, I didn't really draw it properly, but it's the yellow sartorius muscle, right? That goes into the knee, right? Like I said before, and that's what's creating that, like that bump on the outside. But for me, it's you know, it makes up part of the rhythm of the leg, right? Because of what I've learned in force drawing. It's like outside flows into this, and then outside, which flows into the ankle, back of the foot, and then it'll be top of the foot into the ball of the foot and so on. But for the legs, in this front view, outside, inside knee, outside calf. Right, so that's, for me, this is important because of rhythms rather than anatomy. Okay, yeah, so the last thing I guess I should mention is you know, the knee, right? The knee's kind of tricky, it's kind of weird. I think it's okay if you kind of box it off a bit. I don't really have a really good way of drawing knees, but one thing you do want to try and remember, right, is, so from the knee, right, we've got this. Actually, let me show you. Okay, so the knee, and then, well, I can't put my mouse on it, but you can see how it starts from the knee, right, up here, and then it makes its way down into the ankle, right? I'll move my mouse so you can see it. Yeah, so you'll see like artists indicate that sometimes. So it's basically just going, oops, just doing this sort of thing. Right, not very perfect drawing of the bone. And then there's another bone next to it. That's for this side. Right back, I can't remember the exact shape of it. But yeah, so this bone, you know, it's well, if you're studying the muscles of the lower leg, that will help you find where things are, because it divides the muscles a bit for you. But yeah, behind that, on the inside, right, the calf sticks out a bit. Well, yeah, you should know that the gluteus medius, or the one in purple, or yeah, the one here, you can see that from the back as well. Whether or not you want to draw it is up to you, really. Like I said before, it doesn't do anything for my drawings. Yes, that's pretty much it. Oh, in the back, let me show you something actually. Yeah, so in this, in these notes here, right? So you can see, again, on this figure right here, that separation of all that triangle, right? You can see the triangle right there. And you can see the vastus medialis, right? It's like a teardropped shape muscle. But yeah, but underneath that in purple, right, you can see the back of the leg. And notice the shape of the glutes, the gluteus maximus, right? It's like notice how it's like a butterfly sort of shape, right? That's useful to remember. But yeah, beneath that, you can see the bicep femoris, right? Will Weston has just drawn a rectangle, and that's pretty much it. So that's kind of what I do. However, I like to draw it just because I think it looks cool. I mean, and this is part of the anatomy, right? The calf muscle. The calf muscle, right? I extend, like it goes in between the bicep femoris, the two muscles there. Let me show you a better picture. Yeah, here we go. All right, so you can see in orange, the bicep femoris, right? And they attach, you know, on the two outer sides of the calf muscle. So I've kind of taken that idea and just kind of made it like a puzzle piece for the calf and the bicep femoris, if that makes sense. Yeah, so if you want to get good at doing this, you just got to do this a bunch of times. And I think once you understand where these things are, when you start this, you know, start here. Start with the triangle for the inside view, at least. I mean, you can see here, right? It's just this. All of this for me is unnecessary. But it's good to know, at least once. So before we start drawing, I do want to just show you this, right? So we're looking at the leg in the front view, right? The one here. And again, so I really want you to, you know, keep this in mind, that division, right? That triangle, right? So you can see the triangle in red, right? If you can get that, finding the other muscles is going to be so much easier. Okay, so starts at the hip, makes its way around and into the knee. This was like the breakthrough thing that just, you know, made the anatomy of the leg a lot easier. Because, you know, you want to know where things are. And so having, you know, a landmark that you can follow that will then help you find everything else is hugely useful. But yeah, so you can even see it down here as well. On the other leg as well. That triangle. Over here as well. The triangle. Okay, so that's your starting point. Right, from hip to knee. Yeah, and again, I really encourage you to just look at, you know, drawings by professionals, and, you know, just study their drawings, just copy them. Right, so you can see the gluteus, the gluteus maximus, right? You have this shape, right? I hope you can see what I'm doing with the mouse. And also, you should check out, you know, Taco's notes on feet. Very useful. Right, he has a lot of stuff on the glutes as well. Yeah, so this one over here is good. Right, it shows you what happens if you pull the leg back, how the shape of the gluteus maximus changes. Right, so if you want to know where the Gluteus Maximus ends, this is kind of useful to know, right? So like if you know where the crotch is, the glute should be lower than that. So that's useful to know. Okay, so let's just draw. So I would encourage you to draw, just draw the torso roughly. Or whatever method you have of drawing, of constructing the figure. I guess you can use whatever you like. I'm just going to roughly indicate some rhythms of the torso. Okay. And so if you see my torso video, I don't really construct. I go off. I base my drawings off rhythm. But I'm here, yeah. So I'm trying to find the hips, and this that I'm drawing right now, this curve. That's the dividing line. Right, obliques will be up here, and then underneath that, the legs begin. So I have said in the past, I think when in that other video, that the anatomy on maniacs can be a bit weird sometimes. Like the muscles aren't working or something. It's like they don't really change shape. It's almost like it's just glued on. Alright, so trying to find separation of the glutes. And just establishing the rhythm of the legs that I've learned in force drawing. I'll do a clean up pass as well. Let's just zoom out of it. And I'll try to get my perspective correct. But it might not happen sometimes. So the knees are about the same level. So yeah, knees. You'll see me do this just like a triangle shape, but that's mostly just from drawing and looking at reference. Because knees are a bit of a weird one. Like I don't really like the way they look accurately. Like I've seen some artists who draw some, like the way they draw knees is really, it just looks nice. But at the same time, it doesn't really suit the style that I'm going for. Okay, so, alright, so we've got the rhythms in. I'm gonna fill in some more shape. So we got the back of the leg here. So remember how I said the calf kind of inserts between the bicep of the leg, right? Like over here. So I like to have this leg. Well, I have like this line. Let this line be in front of this line. Just a small bit of detail. Okay, and now I'm gonna roughly place that, this thing here. Okay. Okay, so the shape is very important to me. That's really makes a difference of whether my drawing will look good or not. Like if I'm designing the shapes in an appealing way. I feel like I made the lower leg too short, but I'll fix that in a second. I'm going to draw in the butt muscles. Right, loosely indicate the vastus medialis, right on the side in green. Okay. And I've got rectus femoris in front. I think I've made a mess of that leg. Okay, so yeah, I guess from this view, yeah, just think of like the different sides of the leg if you want to find the muscles. So also I can't see the pelvic bone, right? Well, the pubis bone, sorry. But you know, I can imagine that it's somewhere here roughly, and if I pull from there, I know that's where that should be, and then I can imagine where the top of the hips are, and then I can like kind of find my triangle, right? I'd imagine it would go something like that. Okay. And then that's pretty much it. I've already completed the feet, but that's fine. Okay, so yeah, it's just very basic indication of muscles, and yeah, that's it. One study complete. Okay, so just do this over and over again, and you'll be good. And you won't have to draw these extra lines, which I think don't really make the drawing appealing. Yeah, let's do another one. So again, I'd recommend just at least just getting the rhythms of the torso, or some basic shape of the torso. I mean, because I don't imagine people will be just drawing the legs on its own. Well, you will know, right? It was good to get some practice in for the torso. For me, it's, you know, it's really essential. Alright, so I mean the angle's a bit kind of off, but yeah, it is. Hold on, let me fix that. It's more of a tilt on the hips. Alright, so I mean, notice how I'm being quite loose with my drawings. Like, obviously not crazy scribbly, but like here, right? Obviously the reference is different from what I have, but I'm trying to keep the energy in my anatomy, right? You don't get to anatomy and just have stiff poses. So that won't be good. Because then you'll be creating. I think I said this before, but yeah, you'll be creating what's it called? Anatomy diagrams, medical diagrams. Okay, oh, I think it's wrong. So again, you know, if you've got your own way of constructing the figure, by all means. I just like to do use gesture to construct my figures. Just put in the circle. Just rough placements of these things. Okay. So remember that butterfly shape, right? Well, I hope you can see it. But okay, so we got the butt muscles again. So the vastus lateralis, right? You won't see it but you can't see it here. It's like covered up by the IT band, but it's underneath. Where the IT band is that white strip that's being covered up by his hand. As that goes all the way up to the hip. I don't really like this leg. Okay, we'll just move on. But yeah, so there's not much to say about the construction of it. I mean, like I said, I am using gesture. Yeah, I guess it's more of a proportion thing than anything else. But if you're getting stuck, you'll want to look at the reference more, right? All right, moving on. So again, I'm just roughing out the torso. You might have noticed I draw my triangle quite small. It's just, I don't know. It's just what I prefer. Okay. Okay, getting a bit messy here. Let's erase this line. A little bit too messy. Okay, so bit of weird. Just trying to make sure I got the proportions right. So I got the right leg on above the left leg. Really loose indication of the feet. And if I feel like it, I'll add more. I feel like I'm drawing too big, as in my brush size is getting too small. I'm too zoomed out. I don't like my brush to be small. Because then I start, I don't know, it just feels like I'm working on details. Remember this circle? I'm just kind of, estimating where it would be. Right, I'm not trying to be crazy accurate. This feels kind of weird. But let's move on. Make sure I don't zoom out too much. feel like I might have trouble drawing the front of the legs than the back of the legs. I don't know why I get that feeling. Alright, and we'll say the tensor fascia latae sticks out a bit. Okay, so just say that rectus femoris pretty much just takes up the top of the leg. We have, what's this called? Vastus lateralis on the side. I think that foot is too big. I don't really like that calf shape. Trying to make sure that knee's in the right angle. Right, because like I have up here, we have this bump, right? So I'm just going to make sure that I get that, even though you can't really, well, you can see in the reference, but in the way I've drawn it. You can't really see it. Alright, so I'm not drawing what I think I said I would. These muscles, right? Because as long as we can find the triangle, we're good to find everything else. Okay, so this rumba erupts on this side of the knee, which you can't see. Right, and that division on here is in it's like a published pink. So if you want to look out for it on Pose Maniacs, just look for that muscle. Yes, I'm not really cleaning up my sketches, just because that way I can do more. But at least hope you can see my lines and how they correspond to the diagrams above. Or maybe we'll go back and just fill in some muscles in a second. Okay. Alright, so as we go back, and we can find any extra... no. There's nothing really to add. What have I simplified? That's about it. Okay, it's just for this one. So yeah, if you wanted to draw the teardrop muscle in there, you could. But yeah, like I said before, isn't really too important. Let's talk about knees for a second. So what have I done? So yeah, I like to just draw a triangle to indicate the knees of some sort. Yeah. Again here. So that's what I do a lot. When the knee's bent enough, I guess it'll start to box off a bit. And I mean, yeah, you want to try and indicate the knees somehow. You know, given that you are studying. So you can see here, like, I have like this dividing line. Just like, okay, here the top half of the muscles, the top half of the leg, those muscles, I kind of like cut them off here, and then start the knee, and then the knee ends, and then, okay, it's the bottom half. So, I mean, that's a simplification. And obviously not actual anatomy, because these things just continue into the knee, and these stuff attached to the knee as well. Oh yeah, so this is actually, I remember where I got it from. Well, I know Taco has, oh yeah, it's right here. Alright, so you can use this. So this is, think of this as like a division of the upper leg and the lower leg. But yeah, I can't really say it's one shape because you can see as you bend the knee, this part here, like, you know, it squishes. But yeah, you can refer to this as you go. Okay. I mean, it's just a lot easier to do this. Yeah, it's just too bad that all those muscles, you know, yeah, all these muscles over here are like blocked up by the IT band on pose maniacs. So it's kind of hard to tell, but again, just side of hitbox, roughly lower back. But remember, the hitbox is not everything, right? Because well, the hitbox is this, and then you add, you know, the butt. That's extra, and you know, the front is extra as well. So I guess on the body, it's closer to the middle. Yeah, but favor the back more, I'd say. So you can see the butt a little bit. I'm just gonna leave that there. We'll find more space. So yeah, to start with, I am going to just gesture out the torso. Because I imagine most of you won't be just drawing the legs on their own. Like in the, you know, when you're actually drawing figures, you'll want to draw everything. So I want to just start the torso, but maybe leave the anatomy and just focus on the legs. There's a bit of a twist on that front leg. Okay, so just getting the rhythms down for the legs. Don't worry too much about the feet. We'll get to that. Okay, so I'm just gonna fill in the outside shape, and then we'll fill in everything else. I think that might be a good approach. So with the biceps at the back. So what I'm going to do here is, like, for the knee, I'll kind of show it by kind of, you know, separating out the upper leg muscles and the lower leg. Alright, I don't have the best way of drawing knees, as in like showing the volume and everything. What I normally do is you know, just look for the shape and then that's it really. But if you look at Taco has some good knee simplifications, and also Will Weston, so you just take your pick. Okay, so I'm filling in the calf, right? It's like inserting between the bicep of the leg. Let's draw the circle on the side. Okay. That's the bicep of the leg, and then pretty tight angle, but we've got the vastus the vastus lateralis, yeah, the one on the outside of the leg. Okay, and we've got the medius tensor fascia latae. Right, just roughly. And then let's finish out the lower half of the leg. Okay. So my drawings might not be accurate, but yeah, it's fine. It is fine. I don't think I got the twist of the leg properly. Alright, and so we can see the inside of this back leg. So let's pull out the gracilis. And then we'll form that triangle. Right, so this is the sartorius. Right, and then we got that triangle in here. And then in this space we have rectus femoris and vastus medialis. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So let's try and do a clean up pass. Well, now that I look at it, the foot is in a bit of a weird angle. Alright, the more you study anatomy, and the more you can simplify, the easier it will be for you to just modify the reference to your liking. So yeah, I really encourage you. Well, if you want to draw from imagination, you're doing storyboarding and comics and animation. You've got to have a shorthand for drawing figures. So like, even this is too much. For me, anyway. It would be too much. So yeah, just have fun with this. There is a lot going on. But you know, you got those maniacs to help you out. Well, you can't really see, because you can't really see this circle, right? And I probably should have drawn it higher, but you know, most of it's there. But yeah, this is covered up by the IT band. On the side of your leg, that's what that white part is. Don't worry too much about the feet. They are pretty hard. Well, for me, they're easier than the hands, at least. I think the problem with feet for most people is dealing with the perspective. Which, I mean, I don't usually mind. But for me, hands is the problem there is the gesture and the expression. Rather than the perspective of it. So I'm going to keep the poses, you know, I'm not going to choose too difficult poses. Because I want the anatomy to be clear enough. Okay. So for me, it's always important to, just get the gesture in first and then fill in the rest after. So one trick for feet is like to draw like the footprint. So let's see. That, and then like you can extend the foot out of that. More or less. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out. I mean, I don't really draw realistic feet. So for me, it's just like, if I can just get a nice foot shape, then I'll be done. But for this, it's more anatomical, so I've got to think about other stuff as well. Hard angle. So in reference, the bicep femoris, it's like green and purple, right? Oh, yeah, those two, the ones there. If you can see, I'll zoom in the video. And if you're still confused, I'd recommend just getting up a bunch of Will Weston's like leg drawings and then use that as a guide. Right, you don't have to be super perfect with this stuff. As long as it looks correct, you're good to go. Well, at least that's the way I do things. Like being too worried about it is, I don't think it's necessary. Have I got this in the right place? I feel like this might be a bit too small. Either way, it's fine. I think I will just leave it as that. So we'll just draw some muscles in there. So we've got the ring on this side. You can't see, but at least you can see the medialis, right? The gluteus medialis. It's like the same color, but you can see the separation. So at least you've got that to refer to. And you can see it on the other end, just barely. And then you would see the tensor fascia latte in there. And then would have you'd see the vastus, which one is it? Vascularis. I think, yeah, laterals on the side, so that should help me remember. Other than that, well, we would have the sartorius coming into the knee, right, to form that triangle in there. And that's about it. We'll move on to the next pose. Yeah, so you might not be comfortable doing the gesture stuff, which is fine. You can always work up to it. Yeah, whatever method you've been learning to draw out the figure, will be fine to help you do this. What I'm trying to do here is just, help you out with learning the anatomy of the leg, since it's very complicated if you don't simplify. And so, yeah, just want to share with you what simplifications I've been using to learn the leg muscles. Okay. We'll fit in that. I think one thing I used to have trouble with was like figuring out the shapes of the Gluteus Maximus. And I don't know what helped. I think it's looking at TB Choi and Kren's screenshots work. Yeah, it was definitely Kren's, yeah. I just don't know, for some reason I just couldn't really figure it out too well. Like when the leg's in different positions. But I'm sure if I used Pose Maniacs, I didn't use this before, but I do like it. Because, as you can see all the stuff there, without having to guess, or, use X-ray vision. Well, X-ray vision wouldn't really help, I suppose, unless you want to draw the bones. Well, I guess another challenge would be, figuring out what happens when the muscles, squish and stretch. The best answer for that is draw a lot from reference, especially the anime, the YouTube channel. They got like a variety of models, and you get to see all different kind of shapes, and so they're really good to draw from. So yeah, I'd recommend that. And I guess also animation, right? Because you've got to draw the loads. And squash and stretch is, one of the 12 principles. Okay, cool. Legs feel kind of short. Well, I think we made this leg a bit too. Well, this one's way bulkier. Maybe just change that a bit. That looks weird. Make this longer. Okay. Move on. Ooh, tough pose. So yeah, sometimes my shapes will differ, just based on what I like the look of. I think I'll leave that there. It's a tricky one. Yeah, just make sure you draw plenty from reference as well. Not just pose maniacs. That back foot doesn't seem quite right. So let's change it. We'll come back to it. I don't like that. Let's come back here. I'll change the leg like that. Let's clean up a little bit. Ooh, that's tough. I'll leave that. Let's try another one. I made, is this too high? Yeah, I think so. So I've seen Will Weston indicate the knees with these lines, which I guess is like shadows for the bones or something. So I might do that a bit as well. But let's clean up this. Rectus femoris. So in false drawing, the instructor says, try and draw as if, draw from reference as if you don't have the reference, and then draw from imagination as if you did have her. So I think I'm doing that. Because, I mean, by now, if you've watched enough of my videos of me doing this, I tend to ignore stuff. And I'll just let my knowledge take over, which can be wrong sometimes. So I'm like, I don't like this, let me just change it. But yeah, I know some people need to be perfect, and it's hard to get out of that. Okay. But yeah, I can hope by now you can see like what part of the anatomy is important to me, because I'm just realizing that I'm just ignoring the stuff I said earlier, how I was going to indicate all these muscles. But yeah, just if you know how I got to drawing the anatomy in this way, like the shapes that I use, yeah, it's just looking at other artists. That's it, really. Because even though there's good anatomy books out there, they don't typically come with shape design, so you got to do that on your own. I'll leave that. It's like a Naruto run. Don't really like this one. Let's clean up a bit. Still don't really like it, but move on. Trust me, this triangle thing will be the best thing, will be the most useful thing to you when you're trying to learn these muscles. Really, I mean, at this point I'm not even drawing the other muscles or indicating them. Alright, because once you've got this, I told you, it's like you can fill in the gaps afterwards. I don't know why, I just don't like my drawings today. Let's do one more. All right, here we go, last one. earlier when I said like the lower leg, this is straight. Or if you look here, you can see that there is a muscle there. Can't remember the name of it, but it does stick out a bit. And right, and that contributes to some curve. And so that's why I like to curve at the front. Like, not completely straight. But a bit of a curve. And let's clean up a bit. See, again, I forgot to put the line. But yeah, I guess I will stop. Yeah, I'll stop there. So the point of this video is not some in-depth study of the anatomy itself, right? It's okay, this is the anatomy, but what can I do with it? How can I draw the legs in a more simple way than compared to the complex anatomy that is actually there? Use pose maniacs and just draw these muscles on the reference, right? Construct your leg. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything complicated. It could be boxes or whatever you want, although I wouldn't recommend boxes if you're now studying anatomy, but everyone's different. Everyone's got their own method. You could just use shape like Will Weston does. So yeah, just remember, I don't have too much problem, figuring out what the legs are doing. And I can't remember most of these names. I think the only ones I can remember is just maybe the glutes. And I think that's about it. So yeah, do these studies of like the back, front, and side. And then understand how that simplifies into this. And the key point is attachment points, right? They'll help you find everything else on the inside. For the outside and back, because they're not too complicated. The back is just the bicep, femoris, and the side is mostly just the vastus lateralis. Okay, and for this, you got your hip box, and like these muscles kind of spiral around it. So yeah, take your time with these, and then once you feel more comfortable, just use this. That's all you need. And then from there, you won't even need to draw these lines. Right, you'll just be focusing on designing the outside shape. Yeah, but I hope it was useful. I'll most likely do another video of drawing legs. In more, I guess, more challenging angles, right? Because I've still got more to learn about drawing legs, and also, we'll do a video on feet, right? Because I got to improve that as well. And yeah, I'll just continue the rest of the anatomy, and then do artist studies. So yeah, got a lot of figure drawing content planned. So yeah, I do hope it's useful. All right, take care.